I started this year, okay? We talk about owning the run. How do we own the run? We own the run with our LSC. For us, that's leverage, spill, cutback, right? So in all of our concepts, don't matter if we're in one high concept or if we're in two high concept, the number one thing that we want to do is leverage the football, spill it. All right, now I know some people say hit it thick, whatever you term it to be, okay? So for us, we want the ball spit out on the perimeter. So we call it spill. I know some people talk about in terms of hitting it thick. We want the ball not ran downhill on us, get out on the perimeters where I feel like we're going to have athletes that can run the thing down, run the football down, okay? Then after that, we're in the cutback. So if we take a look at this picture here, leverage the ball. First element of this, of owning the run, own all runs, LSC company. So again, first part of this, leverage the football. So right here, who's my leverage? Who's my overhang guy? It could be this guy, right? So it could be any piece, but we want to talk about it all the time. Leverage, spill, cutback. So in this picture here, we see we got a good leverager. We got a guy that's spilling the ball, putting it out on the perimeter, spilling the ball. We got this boundary safety and this one high concept playing the cutback. So again, don't matter if we're in our two high split safety concept, right? We want to finish the ball out. Leverage the ball. We want to spill in the cutback, right? Obviously, you can run into some issues with that, but we'll get into those later on. Talk about my run fits. As we do this, as we go through these slides, we're going to come into, we all should know that, talk about issues. Because if you're a coordinator out there and you're not talking about issues, I think you're playing with fire. Because every defense has its issues. As a coordinator, it's our job to identify what's those issues, and once they present themselves, having answers for those issues. All right. First thing, when it comes to talking about stopping the run, first thing that I think you have to do as a coach, as a coordinator, right, you got to ask yourself the goal, right? Am I going to be a split safety coach? Or I'm going to be a middle of field coach? Or I'm going to be multiple, right? Now, as we know, for me, if you ask me, Coach Thompson, what's your number one way to defend the run game? I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to close the middle of the field, right? Create this 8-man spacing, close the middle of the field, right? Now, obviously, we all know you're running to quarterback run game issues when you're playing with a middle of the field safety, single high safety, right? With the middle of the field closed. You can run into an issue with quarterback run game. So one thing that we like to do when we get in a lot of quarterback run game, if we want to go to our one high concept, we'll play our middle of the field safety a little bit different to get them involved in some of the quarterback run games. Okay, so now if I go to my split safety look, for me, that's when I want to defend the ball, right? Deep ball. So again, I'm gonna leave these two guys on the roof, right? Leave them on the roof and pattern match with these underneath defenders. All right, next, after you identify as a coach, do I want to be a split safety, middle of the field open team, or do I want to be a middle of the field closed team? The next part of this element is you need to identify, do I want to be 4 down or do I want to be 3 down? Then after you come up with that, you want to say, okay, or do I want to be a 5 down front? Okay, the next part of this is that most people want to say, oh, you're a spear team, or you're a box team. What is it? All right. So in its simplest form for us, all right, how I like to identify with our players is if you're an activated rusher, right, you're a spiller, right? And if you're a drop player, now we want a box, all right, or a clump fix player, meaning you have 2 job descriptions. We want to make sure that you box it, keep your outside shoulder free. And we'll get into some more of that later in the deal. All right, first thing first, when it comes to stopping the run, you have to know if you have a gap, you have to know where my fit is. Okay, so if we take a look at this, I'm going to go through it, and as I go through it, I'm going to go through the 4 down, 3 down, 5 down. I'm going to go through 1 high concept, 2 high concept, all right, and 4 down, 3 down, and I'll go through 1 high, 2 high concept, and a 5 down front. Okay, I'll start with versus 2x2, all 2x2 formations. All right, then I go to all 3x1 formations. So again, if we're in our 4 down, 2x2 look, 1 high, middle of the field closed defense, this is how we look. So example, this picture right here, we set the front to our Y right here. So this would be a Liz call right here, setting the 3 tech here. So again, as we talk about being gap sound, playing my gap versus my fit. So when we're in our 4 down, we're a gap, single gap team, all right? We don't ask our guys a 2 gap. We ask our guys, gap it out and play leverage the football and then be great tacklers. So we take a look at this picture here, right? So right here, we'll start with our end right here. This end is a C gap defender, all right? He's a 5'5" in this position right here, okay? Now, this is Mike Backer, who's a 30 backer. He's responsible for this B gap, all right? He has a gap. Now, this 2-eye, our nose right here, he's a A-gap defender. He's responsible for this A-gap. All right, my Will Backer right here, he's a A-gap defender. He's responsible for this A-gap. Okay, again, right here. My 3-tech, he's a B-gap defender. He's responsible for this B-gap. And my end right here, he's a 6 technique. He's responsible for this crease right here. He's a C-gap defender. All right, now, my safeties, okay, we playing them, all right, 10 yards deep, 10 by 2, all right. Now, this guy's going to roll down. He's going to be 3 yards outside of this guy, 5 yards deep, right? And one high concept, these guys make it what we call a funnel call. So if this Y right here was to come back across, all right, we'll fit it like that. So that's all funnel mean for us is you have 3 pieces right here. He's the outside piece of the leverage. So if this guy come back, he's the outside piece, he's the middle guy, okay? Then again, this guy's going to post to the middle of the field. Corners, my alignment is going to be a yard to a yard and a half off the ball. We're going to play our match technique. The star is 7 by 1. He's playing match. So again, these guys right here, match, match, match. So what match means for these guys is I have 2. For the corners, match tell them I have number 1 if he goes vertical or if he goes out. If he goes under, eliminates himself, I give an under call and I zone it off. Same thing for my star and my boundary safety, okay? If these guys are number 2 is vertical or if he's out, all right, I got him. If he goes under, I give an under call, zone it off. Okay? This is our 4 down versus 2 by 2. So here's a visual. Here's a diagram of it here. So this is how we look. So boom, again, right here. We have this guy, C-gap defender. He's responsible for this crease right here. We tell this guy, with this guy this tight, one thing that they like to do is try to dig you out of there, okay? You can't be dug out. So you have to tight it fit, play it tight fit right here, play in this gap. We have a 3-tech right here, responsible for this B gap. Well, again, we have our 20 back here who's responsible for this A gap. We have a 2-eye right here who's responsible for this A gap. We have a 30 backer here who's responsible for this B gap here. We have a 5 technique right here who's responsible for this C gap. Now we gapped out versus 2 by 2. Okay, now we talked about 4 down, 1 high concept. Now let's go to our 3 down, middle of the field close, right, versus 2 by 2. We're still in the 2 by 2 formation. So again, middle of the field close, 2 by 2. So in 1 high defense, okay, we have a gap. All right, everybody has a gap, we gap it out. In our 3 down stuff, now we have what we call fitters. So now these guys have fits. So now right here, this guy, our ends in a 4-eye. Okay, he's inside of this tackle, inside eye of this tackle. He's responsible for the B gap. Okay, now our nose right here, he's head up. All right, in most cases, as a general rule, basic rule, this guy's gonna play lag technique. What lag means for us is he's gonna play behind the block of the center. Now, what that does is equalize this guy. Now he has a fit, right? Because sometimes this guy may get cut off or end up in front of this guy. And then he'll end up playing the behind. So meaning he has a fit. He's going to play off the block of this guy, play off of what this nose does. So he has a fit, okay? Now we have a 4-eye right here who's responsible for this B gap. We have a 9 who's an outside leverage. He's a leverage piece. We have a boundary safety who rotates himself down. Now he's responsible for the C gap. Corners are still a yard to a yard and a half off their guys, still playing their match concept. My star is still 7 by 1, 1 by 7, meaning he's 1 yard outside this guy, 7 yards deep, right? Then my field safety, again, we're showing our 2 high concept. He's going to go here, post to the middle of the field. Boom. Here it is. Here's a look of it. See, we got a 9 here, right? We got a 4-eye here. We have our nose 0, B gap. Guy's getting ready to play the fit off the nose. He's here. He has a fit here. Boundary safety getting ready to rotate inside. There's your fit. 3 down concept. Middle of the field close.